go, guys. I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, nice to meet you all. Let me introduce myself before. My name is Fasiha Alizar. My student number is 57. And in this very special occasion, I would like to say to you about my PPT and title is Spoken Discourse. So, happy watching!
So, our topic today is about spoken discourse. There are 5 main points for my presentation today. The first is about the definition about spoken discourse, and the next is about differences about speech and writing. Next is types of spoken discourse. Fourthly is about features of spoken discourse, and lastly is about the benefits of learning spoken discourse. We are going to the next slide. This is about the definition about spoken discourse. So, what is spoken discourse? Spoken discourse is primarily on how language is used in doing something rather than studying language as an abstract system.
Dying in here means that the aim is not just analyzing about the sentences, but utterance in the real time. In other words, instead of languages as it is used.
What do I expecting about spoken discourse? Based on Foucault, argue that our practices of using language and creating regulating text must end up in not just constraining the way we talk and write, but also the way we think, the kinds of identities we can have, and the kinds of relationships of power. So, studying spoken discourse, therefore, is about more than just studying language conversation. Always involves an array of mediational means, lexical and semiotics. There are so many examples about spoken discourse. There are speaking on the phone, conversations, interview, putting markers, turn taking, group of discussion, using advertisement, people interaction, jokes, speech, and also transferring the information. Next, what is the differences that separating the speech from the writing? In here, both written and spoken discourse can take place in varying degrees of formality, from very formal to informal. However, written discourse mostly tend to have more formal features than the spoken discourse. In here, there are 2 types of spoken language. The first is about formal spoken language, and the next in informal spoken language. So, what is spoken language and the informal spoken language?
In the formal spoken language as well as in the most written text, vernacular vocabulary and slang words are not used in this situation, and it is possible to see more complex sentence structure, use of passive construction, and it is possible to use meticulous vocabulary. Instead, in informal spoken discourse, on other hand, make use of simple sentence structures and active voice mainly, with personal pronouns and verbs which show feelings, opinions, and attitudes such as I think, we believe, and etc. In addition, constructions are frequently in informal discourse, no matter if it is written or spoken.
The next topic is about the types of spoken discourse. In here, there are 2 types of spoken discourse. The first is monologue, and the second is dialogue.
The first type is monologue, which includes a formal presentation, lectures, propaganda speech, and sermons. And the second type is dialogues. Dialogues is interactional in nature. In other words, they are conversation. These conversations are analyzed with the domain of conversational analysis, which is also involves turn-taking.
The fourth topic is about features of spoken discourse. There are so many features of spoken discourse, but in here, I'll just share to you about some of features of spoken discourse. The first feature is turn taking. Discourse analysis will show the conversation. Note that speakers have system for determining when one person's turn is over and the next person's turn begins. This exchange of turns is signaled by such pragmatic means as intonation, pausing, or phrasing. For example, is nodding, eye contact.
In fact, listening to might be signaled in different ways. Some people expect frequent nodding as well as listener feedback, such as yeah, ooh. Lack of the signal can create the impression that someone is not listening. More than expected signal can give the impression that you are being the receipt alone.
Another feature of spoken discourse is discourse marker. Discourse marker is a lexical expression drawn from the syntactic classes of conjunction, adverbials, and prepositional phrases. Its same linguistic gift to the word like well, oh, but, and that break our speech out into parts and show the relation between the parts.
The example of discourse marker is O. O prepares the hearer for a surprising or just remember the item. And the second example is but. But indicates that sentences to follow is in opposition to one before.
Another feature of spoken discourse is utterance. In linguistics, an utterance is the smallest unit of speech in spoken language analysis. We tend to speak in short sentences that may be incomplete sentence that is called utterance.
Before we talk about utterance, so what is utterance? In linguistics, utterance is the smallest unit of speech in spoken language analysis. We tend to speak in short stretches that may be incomplete sentence that is called utterance. For example, you say 24 in the classmate is an utterance. You say good boy for your boy is an utterance. And police says stop is an utterance.
The next feature of spoken discourse is fronting. Sometimes, particularly in speaking, when we want to focus on something important, we bring it to the front of the clause. It's called fronting. When speakers want to stress a contrast, they frequently resort to fronting. In example, putting the object in the front of the verb.
So, fronting is when speakers want to stress a contrast, they frequently resort to fronting. In example, putting the object in front of the verb, like this. All of a sudden, it started to snow. Fronted so as to focus on all of a sudden. This consists of placing a noun phrase or noun clause in front of the grammatical subject, but of which actually refer to the something. So, all of a sudden, it started to snow, fronted so as to focus on all of a sudden, as a fronting.
Nextly, the feature of spoken discourse is ellipsis. Ellipsis is the omission of elements normally part of certain structure and is found in both spoken and written English.
In spoken discourse, ellipse means that omission one word or two words that nevertheless without changing the meaning. For example, do you have any questions? This is an example without ellipse. And any questions? This is an example about the using ellipse with verb and subject omitted.
Not only ellipses, we can also find back channel in the feature of spoken discourse. They are given by listener to show attention or understanding using minimal responses. These are sometimes also meant to give continuity to a conversation or to keep a conversation moving.
The aims for using back channel is to give continuity to a conversation or to keep a conversation moving. For example, words or utterance such as I see, I know, yeah, like this.
And the last features in the My PPT is non-fluency features. They are simplified styles and are so known as a self-corrections. So non-fluency feature is meant as self-corrections in the speaker begins to talk then stop mid-speech and repeats or rephrases the statement.
So, non-fluency features are more just a pause or hesitations since words or ideas are cut off before completion. For example, I need to decide on, I'll just talk to you later. The space between on and I is one of application for non-fluency features.
The last discussion today is about the benefits of learning spoken discourse. I think they are very important to learn about spoken discourse. Why? The first reason is it aims to understand how language is used in real life situations.
Of course, when we can understand about it, we can also learn about individual parts of language, such as words and phrases or the pieces that make up the words.
Another important to learning spoken discourse is about to know about social and cultural framework.
Social and cultural framework, including the location of speaker at the time, as well as nonverbal cues such as body language, and in the case of textual communication, it may also include image and symbols. That's all about my presentation about spoken discourse today. Hopefully you can learn something new from it and enjoy it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.